Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are again in our beautiful gold-plated studio.
Oh, it's gold-plated now.
It is gold-plated.
It's got an upgrade since last year.
Yes, it's you can't see the gold, but it's okay because you can't see anything anyway because we're here and you're there.
The gold's in our hearts.
It is. I am Matt Randisi, and standing about 3 inches from me is Double A himself.
I think it's closer than 3 inches. It's always really, really close when we record these things.
Is it?
It's always like it's always like make out distance.
If we can fit like 2 hands in between us, I think.
It feels closer than 3 inches. Is what I'm trying to say. The Double A himself, Andy Asimakis, recording again back in action for 2016.
Indeed.
Very excited.
So happy New Year, everybody! This is our first broadcast of the new year, and New Year always means one thing when it comes to gaming: new games.
Yeah, as
Yay.
if my backload from last year isn't enough.
I don't think I've even. Actually, no, that's not true. I played like 3 hours of Battlefront.
How much Fallout 4 have you played?
218 hours.
Okay. Is your save file still intact?
Yes. Why? What did you hear?
A coworker of mine lost I think 400 plus hours of
God.
gameplay.
No, God, that has not happened.
And then he started from scratch.
No, my Grey
The
Garden.
addiction is real.
It's never too early to start talking about what we think the game of the year of the new year will be, is it?
No, it's only January.
It's only
We're
January.
talking about the game of the year for 2016.
We are. So there's a fun little podcast that we're going to do. Andy, I'm going to shoot out some names of games that we know are coming out this year. And I want you to tell me and the folks, do you think that game will be a game of the year candidate?
Okay.
So,
Like overall game of the year or like
overall
best
game of the year.
Genre game of the year?
No, game of the year. We're talking
hands down.
the Witcher 3 or the Fallout
Okay.
4 of its year.
Okay.
That year being
All right, I get it.
2016.
Okay. All right, let's do this.
We're going to start off easy.
Okay.
The Division.
Ooh. I'm going to say no.
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 All of the anticipation.
No. I think they're going to screw the pooch on this one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't. No.
But they screwed the pooch on Watch Dogs. They can't do it
Yeah.
again, can they?
No. It's going to happen.
But it's huge.
There's already rumblings of graphic downgrades
Ooh.
since the last video that came out, which has made me kind of sour on it a little bit. Plus, when we played it at, was it E3?
It was
last
E3,
year?
yes.
It wasn't that great. It was solid. I'll give it that.
It was
but
very pedestrian.
Yeah, so it wasn't anything that would basically categorize as a game of the year.
But
candidate.
to be fair, it was the multiplayer, and we pretty much expect any shooting multiplayer at this point to be pedestrian because nothing has really come out to really shake up the formula that we still hold on to
Yeah.
from the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and the
get that,
Halos.
But doesn't this game, its whole thing kind of hinge on its multiplayer components, like playing with the team, the squad-based gameplay?
And that we really didn't get to see. We saw pretty much the very consolidated, like, let's just beat out the other team and
Yeah.
get to the helicopter. There's probably a lot of substance that surrounds that, and maybe is it that you're worried about coming together?
It wasn't just that. It was like the control scheme was a little bit weird to me. I didn't kind of get the hang of it right away. It wasn't as easy to play my first a few times around. We lost also. Which is
It was close.
heartbreaking.
It was
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
We hung in there.
What was the grand prize for that?
Gloves.
Gloves. Okay, great.
Like work gloves or
To-
gardening gloves or whatever.
Totally worth it.
It was pride. It was
Yeah,
about pride.
It didn't wow me like I thought it would. Like from that first trailer we saw
Oh,
years
God.
ago, that was like jaw-droppingly amazing. This was kind of like, what's so
Yeah,
great
the
about this?
Division was definitely a show stealer when it debuted, and every trailer subsequently has been great, but the gameplay doesn't seem to live up to the hype. I have hope of a good single player experience.
So do I, but as far as game of the year, kind of,
Caliber.
yeah, no.
You're saying no.
I'm thinking no.
Okay.
It might get best multiplayer, if it may be.
That seems
bit
like
of
the
polish.
least likely.
It might. never know.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Ubisoft can't possibly fuck this up. They
You're so wrong.
they
about that.
they fucked up Watch Dogs, and I think that they
And
redeemed
then they
themselves
fucked up
here.
Unity right after that.
I say that they redeemed themselves this year. I say the Division is a game of the year
Okay,
candidate.
Okay.
Andy says it is not. I say it is.
I'm
So
saying no. I'm a strong no on that. There's far better. You asshole with your fucking phone. far better games to consider, and that's gonna be like low end for me, like low tier.
Low tier.
Yeah.
Wow, not even mid tier.
No. Watch, go down your little list there. We'll probably get to much better games. All right,
Indeed.
so that's enough
Okay,
for
so
me.
we're gonna move on to the
Moving
next
on.
one.
Okay.
Overwatch.
Overwatch. Oof. Oh God. So again, we played the beta.
Far more impressive.
Loved it.
Far more impressive.
Loved it. One of my favorite games was PAX East last year, hands down.
Our first game of PAX
Yeah.
East.
I mean, so it's our tradition now. Playing a Blizzard game is the
Yeah,
first game we play
apparently.
the last 2 years. So let's see about this year. You can release Diablo 4. We'll play that this year.
Yes.
If you can, Blizzard, make it happen.
And that will be game of the year.
Yeah, or maybe some Warcraft 4, if that's ever going to happen in life.
It will.
Overwatch. I'm going to shock you. I'm going to say no.
No.
Again, I don't think it has what it takes to be a game of the year contender.
But it's Blizzard.
I understand that, but no, I don't see it. It's a fun game. It's really fun, but I don't see it.
Are you worried about its lasting power? Are you worried about?
No. I think it has a lot more lasting power than most FPS games on the market today. So it's got that going for it already, but I think it doesn't have enough going for it to put it in that upper echelon of game of the year worthy, from what I've seen so far and played.
And I'm going to agree with you on this one.
Okay.
I do not see it being game of the year for two reasons. One, while it is Blizzard, Blizzard is still primarily a what? A PC
It's PC,
gaming
yeah. Well,
developer.
this is across all platforms
It is,
now. It's
but-
going into console.
But this is their big break onto console as well.
Yeah.
Because when we got Diablo 3 for console, it was after the fact. It was
Yeah.
after a year that it was on PC.
And it was amazing.
And it was great. It was a great port. Now they're jumping on to everything at the same time. They're really trying to take over. And usually the inaugural title that does this for a lot of developers, it falls short of the hype. And I see Overwatch doing that. And the second reason is because I see this being more of a niche game than a big mainstream game.
Well, my question to you is, what are your expectations of this game? I mean, your hype level, it shouldn't be like
It's not no,
astronomical.
it's
I
not
feel
tremendous.
I think it's going to be a great game.
It'll be a
And that's it.
see. This is the game when you mentioned the Division will be like multiplayer game of the year. This is the game that I
Okay.
think could be multiplayer of
See,
the
I
year.
wasn't expecting you to say that to me, but now what happened to me, I'll just go back what I said earlier.
And that's what I think. That's where I think it'll shine, and it'll fall short of game of the year for that reason as well.
I'll tell you what, I see myself playing more of this than I do see myself playing more of the Division.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Because you can jump in on this Division. It seems like if you really want the experience, you got to kind of play with a group of people you know.
You know, it's like fantasy setting, like really diverse like roster of characters. You can jump in anytime you want with different ones. So
Indeed.
I like the mechanics there. So I would say, great game. I love your Blizzard, but I don't think this is a contender for Game of the Year 2016.
Next time, though. Next title that they come out with that's across all platforms.
Okay, if they ever get there.
Diablo 4. Diablo 4. Okay, so moving
StarCraft
on.
3.
So next one, I have a feeling that this is going to be another title that's going to make you go, So let's see.
I mean, so far you've been pretty good. These are really like hard questions. Like I'm surprised. Like I'm struggling with some of these.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Battleborn.
Oh God. Battleborn.
Now, Gearbox has always kind of been in that top level, but have they ever been at the top?
Yeah, this is one of those games that I'm pretty sure will get a lot of nominations for different categories. Maybe story or voice acting or first-person shooter or whatever the hell it may be. But I'm going to say no again. This is not going to be a game of the year.
Wait, we have no game of the year so far.
So far, I don't see any of these being like potential game of the year for this year, for 2016.
And once again, I agree with you.
You're gonna agree,
I
okay.
agree. Great game, great co-op game.
Yeah.
I can see us playing this for like 2-3 months straight without really getting tired of it. But
then after that.
in the end, that's all it'll be. Because like once we finish Borderlands and Borderlands 2, when was the next time that we came back to it? Like a year later, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, after we played all the other games of the year, candidates.
Pre-sequel?
Oh, God, I didn't even beat that. Did you?
No, I didn't either.
I mean, like, it was a great game, but didn't beat it. So Gearbox, yeah, once again will fall short.
Yeah.
And which is not to say that they make bad games, because
No, but
nothing could be more contrary.
It's too much of in their comfort zone. They haven't get
Right.
to break out of that mold that defines them as a developer. I mean, I love how they have a specific design and how they go about making their games, but they have to break free from what they've done before, and this doesn't appear to be anything too different from what they've done before.
No, it's like Borderlands on crack.
Yeah.
Because we have this
Which sounds great.
huge cast of characters, all of which have been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks a lot more polished than Borderlands
Mm-hmm.
games, but ultimately it will fall short.
Yeah.
So we are in agreement on
So
Battleborn.
far we reviewed with 2 games. Division we're kind of torn on.
Right.
It's really funny considering the title is called The Division.
Unplanned. Totally unplanned. All right. Are you ready for
We
this
got
next
jokes.
one?
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
You ready for this next one?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Be gentle with this one, all right?
Okay. It's pretty like a you favorite game. Like it's a you thing. What is it?
Persona 5.
Okay. Persona 5. I love the Persona franchise. You know, I'm a direct fan. Since
Indeed.
back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
My PS1 playing Persona. I see it winning Best RPG. I think there's nothing else it can really contend with this year.
Not mainstream enough.
Yeah.
Not mainstream enough.
Yeah. So unless they like revamp the gameplay in a way that redefines what a Persona game is, it just can't break that barrier, that little ceiling of into that pedigree of game of the year.
That JRPG,
Yeah.
Western RPG division.
Yeah, stop.
But I mean, this is a game that when you look at the market in Japan, you were like, yeah, there's no other game that's gonna be game of the year. But over here, it's like, oh look, how cute! It's on new systems now. It's on the current gen. Like that's great.
It's shinier. It's prettier.
Yeah.
Again, I see best soundtrack. I see No,
Best artwork, best
That's not great
soundtrack,
voice
best.
acting.
No.
It depends who you ask.
But
I find the American take on a Japanese game very endearing.
it's like the category in the Oscars, like best film editing or like best makeup, or like the ones that don't get
Sure,
announced,
yeah.
like the ones that have no presentation.
I agree. So again, much like the last 2 games we discussed, I think this will get a lot of awards, a lot of nods for presentation and gameplay, story, all those great things that come with the Persona game. But again, for the 4th time, right? Number 4 we're on now. For the 4th time, I'm gonna say no. This game will not be.
So Andy has no game of the year
a
this year so
contender.
far.
But yeah, so that's a no for you.
That's a no from me.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Wow.
begrudgingly, I have to say no.
Well, you put your fanboyism aside, which I appreciate.
Yes,
So
I have
You
to.
can differentiate
Of course.
between the two. So you're very professional. I appreciate that.
So the next one, I have a good feeling about. I think you and I are going to agree on this
Okay.
one.
As game of the year?
Well, let's see.
Another
Well, let's see.
or 4th consecutive no.
Ready?
I'm ready.
No Man's Sky.
Oh, No Man's Sky. God. Don't hate me.
Stop.
I don't think best
No?
indie game of the year? Yes. Well, no. We haven't seen enough of Cuphead to really.
Shovel Knight 2?
Hey, I get it.
I mean, like.
Wait. Let me think. Let me
All
think
right,
about it
go.
a little bit.
All right, go.
Stop Given how last year, a great indie game like Undertale, for example, really, really like just shined in the hearts of like casual and hardcore gamers alike.
I think you can say one other indie game that would be even more prolific in this Journey.
Oh yeah,
Journey,
definitely.
which
I'm
was-
talking in more recent memory.
Right.
Yeah.
But indie
And Journey
games have been
definitely
on
was
that.
a possible game of the year
Oh, yeah.
contender back in its day. So I'm gonna say yes. This has what it takes to be a game of the year contender.
And I agree.
Yeah.
It's so unique looking, and even if it doesn't quite pan out the way that it should for its scale, it's still going to be a very different experience. It's still going to be a very interesting experience, because when have we ever had
A massive experience.
yeah, when have we ever had a procedural, like, open world galaxy
Yeah.
game? Because that's what this is. It's not an open world game. It's an open galaxy game.
Different, fauna and flora and things to discover and things to craft and collect and do and explore.
And even if it's not this incredible wow knock you out of your boots game, it's going to get a lot of points for artistic creativity and for just really breaking the mold and doing something different. And we've seen a lot of games such as Journey, which was irrefutably a game of the year candidate overall.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
Like, really break into that top tier. So I think No Man's Sky is definitely this year's indie game that pulls this off.
Yeah.
And it will be a
I
strong
think it has what it
candidate.
takes to break that barrier into the category of game of the year.
So
Yeah, no doubt.
we have a game of the year
All right,
agreement.
so
All right.
Okay.
2 games left. You ready for this next one?
Okay. Let's hear it.
I like this one.
Okay.
I look forward to the answers for this one.
Okay.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Oh God. I mean, the last game was just so good. Human Revolution. Did that one get any kind of Game of the Year nods?
It got a lot of nominations. I don't
Okay.
think it won a single one though, which in looking back at it makes sense. Because it was a great game. It was one of our favorites, definitely. But it was one of those, like we've been discussing, one of those breakout games.
Okay. I think, given how well received the last game was, and this is their debut on current generation hardware, and knowing the team and what they can do, I'm going to say, yes, this is a possible contender for a Game of the Year 2016.
Not only do I agree, I think this will be the front runner.
Wow.
I think this will be the front runner for Game of the Year when
Holy
it comes
shit.
out.
Okay.
They come out really swinging for the fences. They capitalize on the success and the popularity of the last one, and they take it to a next level.
Yeah.
And that's what I think will definitely happen here. People will be shocked. They will be like, "Wow, this game is like really great." I see that happening.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I think it's going to happen for them. We saw some gameplay at E3 last year.
Indeed.
Looked amazing. And I can't wait till it comes out and get my hands on it.
So that is 2 yeses in a row.
All right.
So
this is your last game.
I call the first one. I call the Division the easy one, but I think we're ending with the easy one.
Okay.
All right. Uncharted 4. Does this bear any discussion?
I'm just gonna say yes. I think this game has everything that makes it a Game of the Year contender.
Still my favorite gameplay trailer
Yeah.
of all last year.
And they keep getting better. All the snippets and little gameplay that they show. It's still good.
It's gonna be amazing. It already is amazing. Obviously, I agree.
Yeah.
And is anybody out there not agree? Speak now.
Yeah, seriously, I don't know a person who loves this franchise that isn't hyped with this game. Back in the day, he was still the male Lara Croft, Nathan Drake, and now
Lara Croft is female Nathan Drake.
Yes. So she's playing catch up to her own legacy, it seems, and Nathan is really like taking the franchise and the genre into his own hands and made something great about it. That's why I love Naughty Dog so much. So I think this game, swan song for Nathan Drake and the series.
Indeed.
It's gonna go out with a bang. I imagine massive set pieces and just amazing moments. Again, great story, great voice acting. Yeah, this is gonna have it all. All.
So definitely a strong contender for
Yeah.
Game of the Year.
Multiple nominations across the board.
Probably as it stands right now, the front runner.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, until the games come out.
So this is your front runner. Well, is it right? Is it right above?
It's Deus Ex first
Okay.
for me,
Oh, okay, and
and
then
then it's Uncharted 4. And
Okay.
So that's how it goes.
Okay.
And then Persona 5.
The bias bleeds through.
To close this out really quickly, we're going to go down another list of games. This one is called Will They Show Up in 2016?
Oh God.
So very quickly, these are games that have either been rumored to come out
Okay,
or have no release date,
Because
but could come out
If you
as
were,
early
if
as
you
this
were
year.
to say The Last Guardian,
Well,
which is supposed to come out this year,
why don't you let me go down this
I will
list?
punch you in the face.
All right, so let's start off.
The Last Guardian.
Let's start off with Final Fantasy 15.
Okay, oh, that got a date. It's coming out this year.
It is supposed to be coming out
Yes,
this year. Yes,
November of this
Do
year.
you believe it will?
Yes.
Okay,
I
as
believe.
do I. It's
believe.
time. It's time. We're gonna see it.
So why is that not a contender for Game of the Year?
Well, think about the history of its development and
Uh-huh.
how many times it's been put off or renamed or
Yeah,
whatever
huh?
struggles it has reached. Would it really be inconceivable to see another delay in this
Why are
game?
you doing this to me?
I'm not
I
saying
don't wanna-
it will happen. None of us want it to happen, but right now it's not as cemented as the other games are.
If you told me that it'd be delayed a year ago before I saw that PAX East presentation,
You'd be like, oh, that Final Fantasy.
I wouldn't have given a shit. If you told me this before I saw the summon move in the demo gameplay, I would have said, who gives a shit? It's Final Fantasy 15. I mean, 13 sucked.
And that's
14
the
was
big thing is we
eh.
had a playable demo, so that's
Yeah.
very good. That's trending
So-
in the right direction.
Given that I've seen all these things, I'm gonna say yes, it's
Yes.
coming out and possible Game of the Year contender.
I agree. If it comes
Yeah.
out, it will. It will. I have hope.
So okay,
Hope.
so you're basing on the fact that if it comes out this year, It is possible. That's why it's not on your list.
A low
Of your
contender, but a
your confirmed
contender.
Games.
If you told me that The Division is getting pushed back to next year, I'd be like, what the fuck? If you
What if it is?
if you tell me Final Fantasy 15 is being pushed back to next year, I'd be like, oh, that's Square Enix.
Well, they've already got Deus Ex for this year,
Right.
so
The front runner.
they're fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes, coming out this year.
And
you-
that's
you
a
agree.
yes for
And
me
you
as well.
agree. Okay, great.
Let's stay in the family. Kingdom Hearts
Okay.
3.
No, that is not coming out this year. I'm saying no to that.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's going to come out next
I
year.
haven't seen enough of it to warrant like it's a solid release.
Are we going to get this
year.
game?
I don't know anymore. I mean, we're only getting FF15. That was almost like not gonna happen. We're getting Last Guardian. Don't you fucking say it. It's coming out this year. It's been 10 years.
Almost as long for Kingdom Hearts.
What's next on your list?
Next on my list, Legend of Zelda Wii U.
Ah, okay. This can. I'm gonna. It's hard to say because I'm predicting that they're gonna make some kind of NX announcement at E3 and say we're gonna release this also on NX, possibly as the preferred
Release.
platform of choice, like they did with Twilight Princess. How it was on the Wii and GameCube, but they pushed the Wii release before the GameCube. Which, fuck you, Nintendo, for doing that. I think it's gonna come out.
That would be horrible, by the
Yeah.
way. That would be horrible.
So I think it'll come out in the holiday season.
Holiday
of the-
season this
yeah,
year.
of this year.
So you say
I'm
yes.
predicting an NX bundle here.
I say
in
yes.
some manner or form.
I say yes because Nintendo has a history of not really making a huge deal about the anticipation for a game. Like
Yeah.
I can see this being announced in like September as coming out in November.
And also, what else do they have for the year, Nintendo? That's big to look forward to.
Pokemon Go?
Well, there's the Pokemon arcade game.
Pokken Fighters?
Yeah. No new Mario games in the horizon, or Metroids, or
There's supposed to be a new Star Fox.
that.
Wasn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Star Fox Zero.
Yeah, that's never coming
That's
out.
not. Okay.
That's never coming out.
No, that'll probably come out this year. But again, I'm surprised your Zelda game not on your Game of the Year contenders. Because I think if it comes out, it'll be an amazing game. It looks good from the 5 seconds of gameplay we've seen.
The reason it's not on there, despite my belief it will come out this year, is because it has to get over the stigma of being a Nintendo game, which in this day and age seems to kind of be more of a hindrance.
Unfortunately, this is true. Yeah, given how the Wii U is performing in sales lately, and just dwindling their lineup.
Right. And also because if it is a holiday release, we could see it as late as December, and we know
Yeah.
that December games don't typically get considered for this category. Okay,
All right,
next
so-
game. This one's going to be
Wait,
pretty
did
easy,
you-
I feel.
Did you say yes for Zelda?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So far, we're in agreement on your.
For-
if
so far,
not-
we're in agreement on everything.
Yes.
The next one, I also think will follow suit. Detroit.
Yes, I think that's gonna come out this year.
Yes?
Yes.
You think it's going to come out this year? Really?
Yeah. I assume there'll be a E3 gameplay trailer, and then we'll see it shortly after that.
All right, I'm saying no. This game is far too demanding and
How
powerful
do you
looking.
know? How far have they been? How long has it been in development for? Do we know?
I mean, you can't really go by that when you look at games like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry, The Last Guardian.
Final Fantasy was retooled like a bajillion times, and Last Guardian jumped consoles.
But this is a game, like, the trailer looks absolutely amazing.
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love the theme. I love that she looks like Jennifer Lawrence, even though I read somewhere it's not supposed to be her.
I think Sony needs a fall-winter release, and this is going to be one of their leading titles for that season.
It is interesting you do say that all the games that we discussed for Game of the Year, none of them are Q4 releases.
They're not.
None of them. That's interesting. But I would definitely love for it to come out. I don't see it happening.
Okay,
I
so
could
again-
I could see it being announced for this
So
year.
Division 2. We're going to disagree on this.
I could see it at E3 being announced for later this year, but then ultimately being pushed back.
Okay.
Okay, so Detroit, we are split.
We'll see in June.
Next one, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, that has to come out this year. There's no way that's not going to come out this year. Sony once again, they need these titles to make it through the year.
You think they go with the 3 strong? And you know what the 3 I'm talking about, the ones they showed off in a row at E3.
Yeah.
You think they go Horizon comes out, Uncharted 4 comes out. The next game on my list.
Wait, what about Horizon? Is it yes or no for you? You didn't say.
Oh, Horizon. I so want it to come out this year.
We all want it. I want it right now. I'm not gonna get it right now. But do you think it's gonna come out this year?
No.
Fuck you. Okay. Why?
I see this being another game.
Has Guerrilla Games deleted stuff in the past?
No, but
that I
they've
know of?
made fucking Killzone. What the? How
Okay.
demanding are those games
All
to
right,
make?
but they made them on time. You know, what do you want from them?
I don't want it to be pushed back.
It's not
I
going to be
see it.
Killzone 4, dude. It's a totally different beast altogether.
I see it being very possible that this game is like, hey, it's coming out in June. Oh, we pushed it back.
And yet again, a potential Game of the Year contender.
Yes,
if
it comes out.
Best new IP for sure. I see that
Oh,
happening.
for sure, definitely. And that's taken into consideration that it will be in that group with No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next game, Last Guardian.
Is this the last game on your list?
Last game on my list, The Last Guardian. Why are you thinking? Wow.
If you asked me a year ago. Oh, yes, it's coming out.
Okay.
Sony cannot put a 2016 as big as that date is at the end of a trailer and then not release it this year.
Can they not?
That would be the biggest fuck you to everyone. You can't get my hopes back up after all these years of hiatus. And then, oh wait, that game you wanted so badly, it's not gonna come this year.
But you would still hold on.
Yeah, here's a screenshot from
Here's the Falcor chicken thing.
from the PS3 version that we no longer use and scratch, but just to
So
give you something.
I should also mention, this is a yes for me as well.
Good, it should be.
And it plays into why I think that Horizon might not be, because we are going to see Uncharted, we are going to see Last Guardian. Those are the two big hitters already. It would be a hell of a career year for Sony if we see all three.
You think too much, like saturation wise?
Yeah, and if one has to suffer the setback, I see it being Horizon.
I'd rather they set back Horizon in terms of its release and give us
Yes.
The Last Guardian.
So I see that being a viable option if they encounter this problem in the near future, where it's like, well, we need to kind of sit down on one of these and rethink it.
Let's put it this way: Last Guardian's had enough time to go through its bumps throughout development road, and it should be ready for release now. Horizon, it's relatively brand new in our minds.
Right.
I don't mind waiting for a little bit longer to be the best it can possibly be.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
But if it came out this year, I would play it and put everything else down.
Yeah. Exactly. I'd buy both. I'd buy all these games. You know.
All the
And be
games.
broke by the time the year is over.
All the games. All right,
right,
so
yeah,
that is the end of
so
that list.
cool.
That concludes our 2016
So we were-
prediction
We
podcast.
were mostly in agreement, I feel.
Yes,
Okay.
only 3 divisions. And so, what games are you guys out there in gaming world looking forward to the most in 2016? What do you think the game of the year front runner will be? We want to hear from you. Leave it in the comments below. Let us know. If we missed a game that you think will be in there, because there are definitely more games than what we talked about today coming out. I chose the ones that I believed were the most prudent.
Yeah, you didn't mention Quantum Break,
I did not mention Quantum. I also didn't mention Mirror's Edge because
You
I don't think it'll be
mentioned-
in there.
Gears of War 4.
Don't think that would be in there. I don't think
mentioned-
Yakuza will be in there.
Yakuza. We did mention Yakuza, but not as a
not
as a
seriously.
contender.
If we had a cusp of the pubic hair of Game of the Year list, Mirror's Edge would be on top, and Yakuza would still not be on it. So anyway, thanks for tuning in and listening. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and let us know in any capacity possible what games you like for this year. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
All right, guys, have a great new year, and don't stop gaming because we sure don't.
Bye.